Thank you, everyone. Welcome to the Gemstones Toastmasters Club, the one and only club in Kaduna, Nigeria. Kaduna actually is in northwestern Nigeria, and we are so happy and excited to have you at this lovely and exciting meeting. Do we have guests in the house? If you are a guest, please kindly do a wave of hand or use an emotion to show that you're a guest. Welcome, guest Cutie. Welcome, Enite. Wow. Welcome, Digit. Okay. That is quite exciting. Please help me give them a round of applause. Oh, amazing. Oh, that is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. You're in for a wonderful, stimulating, and engaging conversation today on the future of work in Africa. Last week, we celebrated Africa Day. And today, we are taking it further by discussing issues that affect us as Africans, and of course, in the global spread. Today's meeting will be centered around the future of work in Africa. And one thing that excites me, or that I think about, is a quote by a man called Jacob Morgan. Jacob Morgan says, if you don't think about and plan for the future, if you don't think about and plan for the future of work, then your organization has no future. The world is evolving, the world is changing, and we have to move with the changing times and trends. And that is why we chose this team to create a new paradigm in the minds of so many people that are connected to this program. I want to say you should fasten your seatbelt on flight 3005 2020 from Gemstones Airline. And I will be your co-pilot because the pilot is going to be ushered into the aircraft any moment from now. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like us to take the Toastmasters Promise. The Toastmasters Promise will be screened in a moment. So I will read it while you mute your mic so that we don't have distorted sounds as we read the Toastmasters Promise. Okay.
I will start.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go with the Toastmasters Promise. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive and friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules of all Toastmasters educational and recognition program, to act within Toastmasters core value of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce to you the Toastmaster of today. The Toastmaster of today is someone I will call a quintessential polymath. She is Toastmaster Enite Young Odebala. Enite is a lawyer and managing partner of Sublime Partners, a law firm whose is assisting firms and organizations start up in Nigeria, having undergone several trainings in this aspect. Enite's work and experience cuts across company secretarial duties, legal advisory services, corporate compliance, construction matters, dispute resolutions, mergers and acquisitions, legal and regulatory framework for developmental projects, and so on. Our interests are in entrepreneurship, promotion of the Nigerian content, alternative energy, youth empowerment, housing, social development, international trade and investment, peace and conflict resolution. Enite is an active member of several organizations, such as the Nigerian Bar Association, International Federation of Women Lawyers, Section on Business Law, the Business Network International, Rotary International, Toastmasters International, Achievers Club 100, and Young Lawyers Forum. Enite is a mentor for Africa Entrepreneurship Awards, and she loved reading, writing, traveling, and networking. Enite currently serves, or she is the outgoing president of ASO Rockstars Toastmasters Club, based in the capital city of Nigeria, Abuja. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, kindly help me welcome to the control Toastmaster Enite Young Odebala.
Good morning, everybody. I'm excited to finally attend Gemstone Toastmasters. I've been meaning to attend, but guess what? The future is here already, and I can finally attend Gemstone's Toastmasters meeting for the first time virtually. I've been meaning to attend physically. This has given me the opportunity to attend this meeting. I'm excited to be the Toastmaster of the day, especially on a day where we are talking about something very interesting, the future of work in Africa. I welcome you all to this meeting. So what is my role as the Toastmaster of the day? I will serve as your MC, as the compere of this meeting. I will help to ensure that you all have a fantastic meeting. I hope you all will be excited, and that's my job, to get you all excited about this meeting. So if you're excited, please wave your hand from where you are. And please just do me a favor, just commit to be excited for this meeting. It will help us have an interesting meeting. First, commit that I will be excited in this meeting. Can you do that in 1 second? I will be excited in this meeting. Okay, thank you very much. A usual Toastmasters meeting has 3 sections. We have the first session for prepared speeches, where members who have prepared their speeches will come and give their presentation. Then we also have the table topic section, where there will be impromptu speaking for us to build our skills to speak on our feet. And we also have a very important section, which is for feedback evaluation section, where those who have spoken will be given feedback on what they did well and how they can improve. So what is the future of work? The future of work, in summary, is how much technology is going to affect our lives, how much technology is going to make things easier for us, or yes, make things better for us. And now is our time to prepare. I think the future of work is not too far away. The future of work is now. The future of work is here. Some months ago, before this pandemic, I know many of us are not used to virtual meetings, but guess what? With this whole situation, we are forced to have a virtual meeting. many companies are forced to use robots and find new ways of doing things that would ordinarily require human intervention. So the future is here already. Now the question is, how are we preparing for this future? Or how are we preparing ourselves to maximize the opportunities that this new future presents? An interesting quote from Abraham Lincoln says, the best way to predict the future is to create it. And the future is here. It's an opportunity for us to create the kind of future that we want to see. There's so many things, the data science, artificial intelligence, robotics, all these will play a key role in this new future. And that's the best way to prepare ourselves is for us to start creating and start learning the skills that we need to participate actively in this new future. I'll be sharing with us some of the skills we need, but before then, we'll go straight into the meeting. I would like to invite the general evaluator for this meeting, Toastmaster, oh, I beg your pardon, Distinguished Toastmaster Kimo. I'll hand over control to Distinguished Toastmaster Kimo to take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I am your general evaluator for this morning, and my role as a general evaluator is to observe the meeting and give feedback to the club on the things that they do well and how to improve their club experience. But the beauty of I do that, I'm also practicing my leadership skills, which is leadership and mostly building, because I have people who will help me in executing this role. And I call on each individual to come and introduce what their role entails. At the end of the meeting, we will give feedback on how everybody did and how the meeting went. Can the SAA share the agenda if they don't mind? Okay, let's start by calling up our accountant, DM Amina. DM Amina, can you tell us what your role entails, please?
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, General Evaluator. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Amina from Kano Toastmasters Club. My role as an accountant is to count the number of speech fillers or repetitive words you may use while giving your speech. I shall be observing and taking note of the use of speech fillers like, you know. I shall come back to give a report of the number of hours used by the speakers when called upon by the general evaluator. Thank you. Hello, did you get that, or do I take it again? Okay.
Toastmaster Beatrice, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good morning, Gemstones. Good morning from London. Thank you for inviting me to the meeting. I am going to be your grammarian today. Is this the time to introduce the grammarian, or were you just checking if I can hear you? I will introduce.
This is the time.
This is the time. Lovely, lovely. We've got a fantastic theme of the meeting today, is the future of work in Africa. And to go with that, I chose a word which is very good for the opportunity, and that is magnificent. The word of the day is magnificent. Magnificent means impressive, beautiful, wonderful, imposing, and that is the future of work in Africa. I would like all of you to use the word, and I am going to be keeping an eye on it. I am watching you. Please use the word. I'll be scoring you at the end of the meeting. Back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, our grammarian. May I ask that you put on our word of the day in the chat box, please?
I can't hear you very well. I have put the word in the chat. Where else would you like me to put it?
Thank you. Oh, that is fine. I missed that. Thank you very much.
I am going to be repeating the word on the chat from time to time, so everyone is reminded as we go to use it. Thank you.
That is perfect. That is perfect. Thank you very much. So everybody's encouraged to use the word of the day during this meeting so that we can improve our vocabulary. Then our next role player is our timer. The timer will be practicing their time management skills and also helping the Toastmaster to make sure that the meeting runs on time. And our timekeeper is Toastmaster Abubakar. Toastmaster Abubakar, over to you. Please introduce your role.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Abubakar Garba. My role as a timer is to keep time for all the speakers to ensure that everyone speaks within their allotted time slot. This will also help in ensuring that the meeting runs on time. To help me do this, I have 3 colored cue cards with me. I will raise the green card when the speaker hits their qualifying time. I will raise the yellow card when the speaker hits the target time. And I will raise the red card when the speaker has reached the end of their allotted time. For example, for a 5 to 7 minute speech, I'll raise the green card at the 5th minute, the yellow card at the 6th minute, and the red card at the 7th minute. The speakers will also be granted a grace period of 30 seconds on either side of their speech. I'll present my report when called upon to do so by the Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our timekeeper. Madam Toastmaster, that brings me to the end of my task for now. I will come back at the end of the meeting with my team to provide the feedback. And I want to encourage all the speakers to make sure that they pin the timer so that they'll be able to follow on time. Thank you very much. Let's have a magnificent meeting.
Yeah, let's have a magnificent meeting. Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Kimo. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. So the future of work in Africa is magnificent. I'm sure you are expecting. So quickly, we would introduce our first speaker, but before I do that, I would like to call on the speaker's evaluator, Toastmaster Hasfat. Please tell us the objectives of the speech, please. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Toastmaster Hafsat, and I'll be evaluating Toastmaster Maureen on our very first Toastmaster speech. As we all know, every journey begins with a step, but in Toastmaster, your journey begins with an icebreaker speech. And Toastmaster Maureen will be giving us a speech titled My Journey Thus Far. The purpose of this speech is for her to introduce herself to the club and to learn the basic structure of every public speech. So we are looking forward to that speech, and I'm sure you all will enjoy it. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Okay, so Toastmaster will be having a first speech. Everybody knows the first speech. The first speech in Toastmasters is called the icebreaker speech. And for this speaker, she loves motivation. Her category is leadership development. The title of her speech is My Journey Thus Far. She has 4 to 5 minutes, 4 to 6 minutes timer. Please take note. Toastmaster Maureen Oyedoja. She's won Best Table Topic Award, so look out for her. She's a civil servant and an entrepreneur. Toastmaster Maureen, you may start your speech. Toastmaster Maureen, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Please go ahead.
The words of Napoleon Hill easily comes to my mind as I remember all that I've gone through. It says that what you can conceive, you are able to achieve, in his famous book titled Think and Grow Rich. It was in the year 1997. I was in 300 level in Ambosali University, Ekpoma in Edo State. I can vividly remember how my seniors were bragging about the states that they have visited, the beauty of the states, the beauty of the states. Among the states mentioned, Kaduna State was of particular interest because they elaborately described the beauty of the state. The roads were tarred, 24 hours electricity, pipe-borne water, and the likes were all available. I have never crossed the River Niger, neither River Benue. So in my childlike innocence, I desired to be posted to Kaduna State for my NYSC. NYSC is an acronym for National Youth Service Corps. It is a compulsory 1-year service to the government after academics. In 2000, my posting finally came. And of course, it was Kaduna. I was so excited. I was so excited about it. But unfortunately, my father was screaming brimstone and fire. Why? As at that time in Kaduna, there was crisis between the Christians and the Muslims, bloodshed everywhere. So of course, as the first daughter of the family, he was afraid to let his daughter go that far to Kaduna. Moreover, I just lost my mom 4 years ago, so he was so skeptical about me going anywhere. So he sat down and typed a rejection letter for me to submit. Immediately, I got to camp. When I got to camp, I refused to submit the letter because, of course, I'd wanted to break free out of the cocoon I've been enshrined with. So I kept the letter. At last, after camp, I was posted to Government Technical College, Kachuru, to teach chemistry. After the 1-year program, the 1-year service, I came out the best copper of the year. I was given an honorary award in my community service. The community service that I engaged with was building toilets, beautifying the environment in the school where I taught. The honorary award gave me an automatic employment with the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources. I was posted from the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources to KEPA, that is Kaduna Environmental Protection Authority. It is an acronym for, which is an acronym. Then I served as a laboratory scientist there. 19 years after, with persistence and hard work, I have grown to be the head of climate change unit and the Ministry of Environment with subordinates under me. I believe with Toastmasters, I will be able to learn, unlearn, relearn how to lead, coordinate, and bring out the best in my team members for excellency and magnificency. Again, I remember I started with, if you can conceive it, you can achieve it. Thank you, Toastmasters and guests.
Thank you, Toastmaster Maureen, for that magnificent speech. Please, we need to give her a standing ovation. If you can't stand, please, a round of applause from wherever you are. Thank you. That speech was magnificent. I am inspired by your speech. Well done. So please, let's take 1 minute to evaluate Toastmaster Maureen, please. 1 minute. We have 1 minute to do that. You can send her a message privately. Just tell her, in Toastmasters, we use what we call the CRC method. Commend, recommend, and commend again. What did you like about the speech? Please commend her. What do you think she can improve upon? Please recommend something and commend again. Tell her something she did very well with the speech. Well done. I enjoyed that speech.
Toastmaster of the day.
Okay, please, let's go ahead with the evaluation. 1 minute, please. We'll be moving on to our next speaker. But before I call on the next speaker, I would like to call on the evaluator, Toastmaster Najib. Toastmaster Najib, please, can you tell us the objectives of the speech?
I'm here, can you hear me?
Please, let's do our evaluation. 1 minute, send an evaluation to Toastmaster Maureen. Okay, Toastmaster Najib, you can tell us the objectives of the next speech. Can you be louder, please? I can hardly hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
You can, please speak louder.
Hello.
I believe. I can hear you, but I don't know if everyone can hear you clearly. I can't hear you very clearly.
Hello.
Hi. Can we all hear him?
Please go ahead.
Please speak louder. Just go ahead and tell us the objectives of the speech.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is TM Najib, and I will be the evaluator for Toastmaster Abdul Samad Gobir. Toastmaster Abdul Samad will be giving his icebreaker speech. So he's going to, the purpose of the speech is to give, is a speech on any topic he decides to give, and the title of the speech is Striving for Excellence. So Toastmaster Abdul Samad Gobir is going to give us his speech on this particular topic, and I'll be looking at parameters such as body language, clarity, content, and many other parameters. I'll be back at the end of the meeting to give evaluation of Toastmaster Gobir's speech. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll be listening to our next Toastmaster who will be doing the icebreaker. His name is Toastmaster Abdul Samad Gobir. He's a mechanical guest, reading and fine dining. He's on the dynamic leadership part of Toastmasters Pathways. And the title of his speech is Striving for Excellence. Toastmaster Gobir, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Welcome.
I'd like you all to help me thank Toastmaster Hawakatu for introducing me to Toastmasters. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I stand before you here as a challenger, and I would like to ask, have you ever failed in a task before? Or have you ever felt very little from comparison with others? Or have you ever stopped your task or your goal halfway, or your dream halfway? My name is Abdul Samad Gobir, and most of you know me as an engineer, but that is not 100% accurate. I'm actually a married engineer because I'm married to an engineer. I joined Toastmasters Club because I wanted to challenge myself to get to another level while inspiring other people around me. Today, I'd like to talk to you about striving for excellence. And when these words comes to mind, a story of a young lady in America in 1904 comes to mind. She works as a sales agent, but dreamed to build the biggest hair growing company in America at that point. As a Black woman, how could she do this? At that time, the racial segregation was at its highest. There was gender inequality. She even had marital problems. But behold, in 1917, she achieved her dreams and built a very massive industry of hair growing. She inspired all people around America, and she was the first woman to hit the millionaire status in American history. Her name was Madam C.J. Walker. Her story is a story for striving for excellence. But what is excellence? Excellence from the Oxford Dictionary is derived from the Latin word excellere, which means to surpass. In other words, striving for excellence is striving to surpass our work and work of others around us. I will stick to the former, which is striving for excellence against yourself. And I would like to share with you a story of myself and why I identify to the first one. Taking you back to when I was in secondary school, between JS 1 to JS 3. I was always taking the last positions in class. It's sort of embarrassment to my parents, you know. But on a fateful day when I was in JS 3, a friend of mine, we had an altercation in public. And even though we were insulting each other, he said some few words that got me harder than the rest. He said, I don't deserve to be in the same class with him. I deserve to repeat. I was so furious. My face, I was ready to punch him. Luckily, a magnificent teacher was beside us, and he calmed things down. And he took the time to talk to me separately. And he said, if I was to compete against him, because he was a brilliant boy, if I lose, I'll end up hating him as a friend. And if I win, then what next? You know, because in my mind, I was ready to do anything to be better than him, even cheat. But these simple words that he told me changed things for me forever. By SS1, I was a mid-class student. By SS2, I was waiting for my name to be called on the podium among the best 3, even though I came 4th. And by graduation, I graduated best in 3 subjects, and I went for a regional chemistry competition. Moral of my story, sometimes it takes time, and competing against yourself brings more joy. But sometimes people don't see the efforts you put in, and you might not see much results in the first place. But when things get hard, I'd like you all to reflect on the words of Robin Sharma, the author of the 5 AM Club. He said, at that point when you want to give up, when things become difficult, lies an enormous opportunity to wield a new level of willpower. Willpower is like muscles. The more you stretch them, the more you have control over them. I would like to summarize my speech by pointing out 2 things. Striving for excellence against oneself is better because comparison with others drains the joy out of progress. Secondly, when things get difficult, look for the willpower to forge ahead. And I'd like to conclude by leaving you with a quote by Robin Sharma, which says, limitation is a mentality practiced by people daily till they start to believe it's reality. We can all strive for excellence. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gobil, for that magnificent speech. Thank you so much. Please, can we all take 1 minute to evaluate Toastmaster Gobil?
Hi, Toastmaster of the day.
Okay. Use the CRC method, please. Commend, recommend, and commend again. Timer, please, we have 1 minute. Look for his name, send him a private message, tell him what you liked about the speech, tell him what he can improve upon, then commend again. Please be nice. That was a great speech. So at the point where we feel like giving up, we should develop a new will. Okay, before I call on, hope we are evaluating Toastmaster Gobil, please. Did we give him a round of applause? Let's give him a round of applause. That was a magnificent speech. Here's my round of applause for Toastmaster Gobil. Let's all give him a round of applause, please. Okay, our next, before I go on to the next speaker, I'll call on the next evaluator for the speech. But please, evaluators, take notes that you are not to mention the name of the speaker yet. As Toastmaster of the day, I would introduce them appropriately. So just tell us the objectives of the speech. Our next evaluator is Toastmaster Sagorika. Toastmaster Sagorika, are you here? Please tell us the objectives of the next speech.
Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be at this magnificent meeting of Gemstones today. Evening, because I am calling from Newtown Toastmasters Club, India. Well, it's a pleasure to be here and playing the role of an evaluator for the speaker. It is said that the quality of a leader is reflected in the standards they set for themselves. So let's see and going ahead that what does the speaker have for us today, who is delivering his level 2 project 2 speech of innovative planning, which is understanding your leadership style or others that you have encountered. Wishing the very best to the speaker. Over to Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker joined Toastmasters in May 2019. He has earned level 1 in the innovation planning pathways of Toastmasters. And his hobbies, guess what his hobbies are? Swimming and mentoring. He will be speaking from the innovation pathways, and the speech title is Pass It On as Received. Timer, please take note, he has 5 to 7 minutes. Our next speaker is Toastmaster John Danladi. John?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Growing up for me was like, do not spoil your stuff, like toys, shoes, and clothing. Good morning, Toastmasters and guests. And I wish us all magnificent time as we engage in this conversation. The reason for that statement I made first is because my younger ones will use this stuff because I shouldn't spoil them and leave them some values to also get from. So we grew up with such a sense of entitlement and inheritance from our elderly ones. Some of you will understand with me that have younger ones or elderly ones. You see those fine sandals, you say, bros, once your leg is bigger than that, I can take over it. Or you maintain your stuff, your toys, don't damage them so the younger ones can continue to use them to have fun too. So parents saw this as a way of saving cost and getting maximum values for that money spent in purchasing them. Well, unconsciously, we learned all we knew from others. The knowledge base, we just get them from others as we grew. Close relatives, teachers, even lecturers at different levels. So, well, sometimes consciously too, we model some key persons in our lives. Maybe an artist. You could hear the craze in town where you have some group called MAD, where, of course, the Malians and all sorts of that. Davido, the biggest artist in Africa, as at this morning from AIT. Yes, we model them the way they sag and behave and carry themselves. So consciously, we model this attribute. All the examples above that I've given may be unstructured. But let's look at what mentoring and coaching means. Well, I took a look at the online dictionary from Google, and guess what I found out? Mentorship is a period of time during which a person receives guidance from a mentor with constructive feedback. In this context, a mentor is a trusted advisor. So let's look at coaching side by side. Coaching, on the other hand, is a form of development in which an experienced person called coach supports a learner. Did you get it, the drift? Now, there is support for coaching and there's a learner, but in the mentoring, what do we get there? Guidance is pronounced there, and a trusted advisor. So for you to mentor someone, before I proceed, a coach must have a coachee, just as a mentor have a mentee. So let's see some qualities that a mentee, if you're willing to learn and take up challenges, just like your mentor has also been at that class, look at some qualities. that mentee have to be motivated to succeed. You must be ready to succeed. You can't be supported if you're not ready to succeed. So now, you should also have good time management skills. You can't keep missing appointment with your mentor. And then you should also look at having a positive attitude and should also be honest. When you're honest, you get honesty back. Communication skills must be clear and you have confidence in yourself. There are also the other angle for mentors for us to take out. While mentors, they will do well to have the following qualities: the willingness to share their skills, the demonstration, they should demonstrate a positive disposition and should have positive attitude and behave like a role model. Do what you want your mentee to copy, and should exhibit enthusiasm in the field of study. They should also possess good values. At least I say that. A School of Thought by John Locke says, and I quote, "Tabula rasa is a theory that believes that humans are born without built-in mental content, and therefore all knowledge comes from experience or perception." On this note, I call on all the mentees in the house or those watching from the YouTube platform or wherever to send a thank you message to their mentors now, including myself. If I mentor you in a way, please send me a thank you. I would like to have that. They are our heroes. Toastmaster of the day.
A round of applause for our speaker, please. Thank you, Toastmaster Danladi John. That was a very, very good speech. Magnificent speech. Thank you. Thank you. Dear Toastmasters, can we please take 1 minute to evaluate Toastmaster Danladi John? Tell him what you liked about the speech. You know our method: commend, recommend, and commend again, the CRC method. Please commend what you like about the speech, recommend something you think he can improve upon, then commend again. Please just do that in 1 minute. Look for his name and send him a private message. So back to the future of work. The future of work is tech-based and is remote. Most companies have asked their staff to work from home, and Africa is not left out in this new shift towards remote work. People working from their home, having to give reports from their homes, having to take contacts from their homes. So every African should embrace this new shift, remote work, working from home. So a company can have their staff working from different places. So there has to be that team collaboration online. They can have virtual meetings to see what everyone is doing. So remote work is part of this future. And the future is already here. The future is here. Many companies have already adopted that. But what are some of the challenges to this future of work? I think there are 3 key challenges that are present. Infrastructure challenges. We have challenges with electricity, internet supply, and all of that. That would pose a great challenge to the future of work. It would limit Africa if we don't handle those challenges: power and internet connectivity. Then also knowledge. We need people with new skills, people with skills of artificial intelligence, data science, robotic, 3D printing, and all the new tech out there. We need Africans that would fill in the gap and learn these new skills. Then also perception. Most people are not receptive to new technology. They keep resisting new technology, except when they are forced to use it, like in this pandemic. I know ordinarily, if there was no pandemic, many people would not opt for a virtual meeting, but here we are today. And we see new technology coming in is already facing so much resistance, either by ignorance or because people do not want to accept change. like we've seen with the 5G and so many issues coming out of that. So these are some of the challenges that we should also consider with regards to the future of work. I'll talk about some of the skills that we need to thrive in this new future. But before that, I would like to call on the evaluator for our next speaker, Toastmaster Iang. Please give us the objectives of the next speech, please. Toastmaster Iang.
Good morning, Toastmasters. I don't know if we have guests in the house. Good morning, the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'll be evaluating the next speaker who will be speaking from the traditional manual, the traditional educational manual, and it is Speeches for Management. And it is the third project on that manual. And what are the things required of the speaker? The speaker is supposed to show understanding of the concept of motivation, and she's to use the concepts used to describe strategies to align audiences' goals with objective. She is to deliver a motivational speech and influence our audience to a specific action. Please timer, take note, she has 5 to 7 minutes to deliver her speech. Thank you very much. I look forward to a magnificent experience. The Toastmaster.
Thank you, evaluator. Our next speaker is an advanced speaker par excellence. She has achieved the ACS Award, the Advanced Communication Silver, Advanced Leadership Bronze. She has held the position of club president, vice president education, and area director. So this is a magnificent Toastmaster, if I can say that. So she's speaking from the traditional program. She'll tell us the title of her speech. Our next speaker has 5 to 7 minutes, and she's no other person but Toastmaster Anastasia Lequat. A round of applause for her, please. Toastmaster Anastasia, you may start. Hello, Toastmaster Anastasia, are you here?
Yes, thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Nete. I'm very happy to be here. I was just waiting to be unmuted. We can do this. We definitely can. So today I'm going to do a giveaway. Who loves giveaways? Who loves giveaways?
I do.
Out something very great. I know that we all do. I know that we all do. If you can see my backdrop, I'm giving one of these out. Can we see? Yes. Who wants A or B? Who wants A or B?
I want both. But I would accept A if I can have only one.
You want A. Does anybody want B? You can't have two. You can only have one.
I want A.
I am Dangote's daughter. I'm Dangote's daughter, so I can actually give you this. Who wants one of this?
I want A.
A, great. All right, so I'm giving away A. Why didn't you pick B? Why didn't you want B?
B is too, I think A will contain more persons and B is too small.
Okay, but what is B?
I don't even know what it is though. Looks like something that would move. Maybe for skating, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe a unique shape of sports car.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anita. A is a Mercedes-Benz, a very sleek-looking Mercedes-Benz. And that's very familiar to all of us. But B is a bobsleigh. A bobsleigh. Exactly. So even if I gave you B, you probably would not be able to use it here because bobsleighs are used in snow. I'll tell you a story about a bobsleigh, one bobsleigh. So in 2016, a lady called Sheung Adigun decided to form a group of bobsleigh riders. So she got her friends Ngozi and Akuoma to join her, and they became the first Nigerian team to become bobsleigh riders, and they tried and did everything they could by sourcing money, practicing they could to join the Olympic team. So in 2018, they became the first team ever from Nigeria to participate in the Winter Games via the bobsleigh ride event. So they joined the race, and they became one of 8 African countries that participated in that race. Unfortunately, my story doesn't end with they won, but they entered the race. Now, I just wanted to reflect on our theme for today, the new way of work. For us in Africa, what does that mean? For us in Toastmasters in Africa, what does that mean? It's almost time, in a couple of weeks, new officers will be taking on new roles in their clubs. I know in our club here, new officers will be taking on new roles. What are you going to do different? I want you to enter this race as Sheung, Ngozi, and Akuoma did, entering to win. You've got to give your best. I mentioned earlier that they practiced. They didn't get any support from the federal government. We know that Toastmasters district and division and the region will give us all the support at the club. But you must harness your own motivation. You must be motivated, because a leader who isn't motivated isn't going to achieve much. And so Sheung, Adegun, Ngozi, and Akuoma were able to put together an exceptional team, a magnificent team, and they went out and became one of 8, the first ever from Nigeria to participate in this sport. They wouldn't have accepted it because they would have preferred a bobsleigh, which was very important to them at the time. There are resources on the Toastmaster website that leaders can use to help them navigate through the 1 year of leadership that they will participate in. I want all the leaders here, leaders elect, who will become leaders in their clubs or in their regions or in their areas or divisions, to know that there are resources available. They can get them from the Toastmasters website. They can ask past presidents or past leaders. We will all be here available for people to ask us questions, but they must be motivated. They must understand the vision or the goal that they want to achieve for the year. There's no reward for no objective to do. So you need to understand what the plan is. If you read your leader's handbook and it becomes your holy grail, you should be able to achieve your DCPs. So leaders use the leadership and understand the plan, understand the goal, understand where you're headed. If you need to acquire 5 new members, how are you going to get them? As a team, what are you going to do? You know, everything looks difficult at the beginning. Towards the middle, sometimes people give up. But at the end, if you strive and work hard, you will achieve your goals. Nelson Mandela said, and this quote has been quoted severally, many times, everywhere. It always seems impossible until it is done. How far do you want to take your club? What are the things that your club will aim to achieve? Which of the goals do you want your club to achieve by the end of the Toastmaster year? It is important for you to set out these goals and understand how to achieve them, and then work towards achieving them. Shell Ngozi and Akoma didn't just jump into the Winter Olympic Games. They practiced. What are you going to be doing throughout the year to ensure that you meet your DCP goals? As leaders of the club, you need to come together as often as you can to talk about your progress, evaluate yourselves. Evaluate yourselves. You know that at the end of the year, they always give awards and rewards, distinguished club, distinguished, and all of that. So which of these awards do you want to receive? You can decide that now. As you become leaders of your club, you can decide that now. And when you've taken that decision, map out a plan on how you want to achieve this. I urge everyone today, whether a club leader or not, everyone has goals, or everyone should have goals for their life, their relationships, for whatever it is that your goal is, and the plan to get to that goal and how to achieve it. As long as you are setting out and understanding this goal, you will achieve it. So Toastmasters and guests today, which of my giveaways do you really want tonight? Thank you. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much for that magnificent speech. But why tempt us if you're not giving us this gift? I've already mentioned it, so I expect that you send it to me. Anyway, quickly, let's send feedback to Toastmaster Anastasia Lequat. Please send her your commendation and your recommendation, then commend again. So please use the CRC method. We all have 1 minute to do that. Commend, recommend, and commend again. Send her a private message. So let's do that quickly. So timer, we have 1 minute. Timer, are we on course? I've not seen the timing cards. So we have 1 minute to do that. Commend, recommend, and commend again. Thank you for that interesting speech. I read about the girls who entered for the bow-sled competition. They put Nigeria's map in that competition. Without them, there would be no Nigerian participation in that, and it was really great. Something innovative. So let's give I believe at this time we have all given our feedback. So our next speaker, before I call on the next speaker, I'll call on the evaluator. Toastmaster Hopkins, can you please give us the speech objectives for our next speaker? Toastmaster Hopkins, please.
I'm thinking.
Okay. All right, great. Our next speaker is giving speech number 5 in speeches by management. Her objectives are to deliver bad news with tact and sensitivity, organize her speech appropriately for her audience, and conclude with a pleasant note and maintain the audience's goodwill with a time of 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. Our next speaker is an advanced speaker par excellence. He loves dancing, volunteering, and taekwondo. So don't try this speaker. And the project is from the Speeches by Management, Project 5, Delivering Bad News. And the title of the speech is Never Give Up. Timer, it has 5 to 7 minutes. And there's something interesting. This is a speech for his advanced communication gold. So we'll have to give him a big applause for this feat. He has achieved Innovation Planning Level 2. He has been Vice President Membership, Vice President Education in 2018. He's currently the Program Quality Director. He's a Chartered Accountant and Financial Analyst. So who is this speaker? This speaker is Chidi Chukwudi Madu. A round of applause for the speaker, please. Toastmaster Chidi.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters.
Okay, Toastmaster Chidi is female. Sorry, I used the male pronoun. Okay, you're welcome. You may start your speech.
Thank you. My colleagues, who's excited to get the feedback from the Project Review Committee? I've just received the feedback from our submission on our prototype. Okay, all right, settle down. I know we're excited to know what our fate is and whether or not our prototype has been accepted for implementation. When we started out, our aim was to make life a little less hard for our neighbors, our friends, and our colleagues. We set out to implement an educational project that would enable our kids have access to quality education, even while they're at home. We did not set out to do this for just our own gain. We wanted to leave a mark, we wanted to leave a mark, and wanted to be counted in history as part of those who did not just put our community on the map, but put Africa on the map. We celebrated the Africa Day just last week, and it was celebrated with pomp and fanfare. And a whole lot of people came to understand that there indeed is talent in Africa. I first want to appreciate every one of you for the job you've put in. You've all been magnificent team players. We put on a spectacular show during the auditions, and our prototype, if I may say so, was pretty impressive. Let's get down to the crux of the matter. The feedback that I've received is probably not what we want to hear or what we expected to hear. It's unfortunate that our prototype cannot be selected at this time for implementation. Calm down. I know it's sad, it's disheartening, but that's not the end. The truth is, in this world, there are a lot of successful failures. Because I've come to understand that failing is not about falling. Rather, it's about staying down. I see this as an opportunity for us to go back, rework our projects, and come out with something even more impressive, such that when we present it to the review team, they would not have any choice than to accept it. I do not want us to give up at this time, because at this point, it's very easy for us to give up and say, oh, well, we failed. We have not failed. We have just been given an opportunity to be better. Let me tell you something. Did you know that a lot of the inventors that we know today, name them, a lot of the people we want to identify, people we hold as authority, they failed several times. Let me tell you about Stephen King, an American author. He wrote a book titled Carrie. That book was rejected by over 27 publishers because they told him that negative utopias do not sell. People do not want to see a negative ending. But he did not relent. He went on, he published that book, and the rest today is history, because Carrie is one of his best sellers. Donald Trump, during his commencement speech, had said, do not give up. Never let that happen. If you come before a brick wall, go through it, go over it, go around it, but get to the other side of that wall. What does that tell you? That when you come across an obstacle, don't give up. Instead, use it as a stepping stone to explore the opportunities that are before you. So let's go back to the drawing board. Let's take the feedback we've been given, put it into our work, and come out with something more impressive. Trust me, when we are done with this, the whole world will know our name. Remember the reason why we started this project. It wasn't for our gain. It was to make life a little less harder. Make the world a better place. And like I will also always tell you, Kaizen, continuous improvement, that's the future. If you do not fail, you would never understand. You would never be able to really experience the joy of winning. So do not give up. Never, never, never give up. Those were the words of Winston Churchill. We owe him, well, the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. I leave you with those words today. My colleagues, my friends, do not give up, because the future is yours for the taking. The Toastmaster.
Round of applause for our magnificent speaker, Chidi. Well done. Thank you for that wonderful speech. It was magnificent. Thank you. Dear Toastmasters and guests, please let's take 1 minute to evaluate Toastmaster Chidi. Please remember we are still using the CRC method: commend, recommend, and commend again. Never, never, never give up. Thank you for that message. Please let's give her our evaluation. Send her a private message on what you think about the speech, what you're recommending, and commend her as well. Thank you. So timer, we have 1 minute, right? Thank you to all our speakers. That brings our prepared speech session to an end. Thank you to all our speakers. We've learned from every one of you. We started with what we conceive, we can achieve. What are we thinking? What do we conceive, we can achieve? Thank you to all the speakers. Thank you for the effort you put in to give us quality speeches. We really appreciate. And we've learned from your speeches, striving for excellence, the power of starting something, building a team and representing your country globally. It's really good. We like the fact that you've all done great research to give us quality content. Thank you very much. At this point, I would like to call on our table topics master. I believe we are doing our evaluation and we're done with that. Our table topics master to guide us through the session. Our table topics master, Toastmaster Emmanuel, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster, for that wonderful introduction and where you carried on the speech. I'm quite excited to be serving today as your table topics master. Now, what is table topics? In Toastmasters, there are two things that we learn. We learn the gift of speaking impromptu and the gift of speaking prepared. So you are a well-rounded speaker, whether impromptu or in a prepared way, you are well prepared. And that is why I'm here to guide you and help you. Now, this part of the Toastmasters meeting help you to develop your gift of impromptu speaking, whether you're an entrepreneur and you are trying to pitch to your potential investor in a lift or anywhere. In 1 to 2 minutes, you will nail it. Or whether you are asked a question in an interview, you'll be able to give a concise and precise answer to that question. So, ladies and gentlemen, today is going to be wonderful, whether you're in the morning or afternoon or evening. Be sure you are in for an exciting time on this aircraft 3005-2020 Gemstones airline. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are willing to participate in this table topics, kindly raise up your hand using the emotions or raise up your hand and let me see you. I'm thinking only 3 or 4 volunteers. Okay, I can see Guest Kuti, yes. Guest Mohammed, yes. Celso, yes. Number 1, Guest Kuti. Number 2, Guest Mohammed. Number 3, Celso, yes. I need 2 more, very quickly. I see Ellen, I see Alia. Wonderful. A round of applause for our wonderful volunteers. Amazing. I can see the energy and the response today is so amazing. So let's go quickly to the first volunteer. Guest Kuti, kindly unmute your mic and tell us your name and where you're connecting from. Try to unmute it. It's going to unmute, yeah. Okay, unmute now.
Yep, okay. Yes, my name is Kuti and I'm from Perth, Australia, from a club called Williton Toastmasters, District 17.
Amazing. What time is it in Australia?
Oh, it is now 6:30 in the evening.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. It's great to have you here in Nigeria. We are here in Nigeria. So yes, we have questions 1, 2, 10. So we are talking today on the future of work in Africa. And I understand that you know something about the future of work. So all the questions are structured around the future of work. So can you kindly tell me, what is your lucky number?
Number 5.
Number 5. Number 5. So if you like number 5, let's go for number 5. Number 5 says, okay. Number 5. Number 5, yes. How can small businesses and informal sector fit into the future of work in Africa? How can small businesses and the informal sector fit into the future of work in Africa? So, Mr. Kuti, you have 1 to 2 minutes to respond to that question. Over to you.
Yes, that's a fantastic, magnificent question, which I have been waiting from you for whole day. Now, concerning about the small sector businesses, I am in for preferably for small interest business than all the MLCs that you have, those big ones, because there are millions of people that are from the small sector that is known as the cottage industry. Your vegetable sellers, your small corner shops, your persons. Now, they do not need anything from, if suppose you have to give a 5 cents discount or 5 discount, they can give immediately to you a 50-cent discount, the small sector, the people in that. But once you go to a big MLC or collaboration, what do you have to do? They have to take you 1 year to go to different levels of their management just to give you a 5% discount. So at this time of COVID, when everybody stays at home and find this new type of businesses that go, they will know that these are the types of business that you have in the future. Not only in Africa, but around the world. We need the people from the ground, those small. China today is telling Australia, we have tariffs for your meat. We don't want your barley. We don't want your farming. We don't want your oil. Those are all the big industries. But if all of them go into the small industries, which every day you work in the cottage industry, in India, we call it the cottage industry. We do not have that type of things in Australia where the masses put in some jobs or some work. We only have, like you said, the MLCs, the people working in that and so forth. We do not have those small type of people that do all the smaller type of job. For example, making T-shirts, making, manufacturing smaller items. So I think the future, not only of Africa, but all our third world countries, developing countries, sorry, not the third world, the developing countries would prefer to work with the people and the mass. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Kuti, for that wonderful response to that question. We need to find a way to evolve and rally around us small people that don't go through long protocols and approvals to give us the services and the discounts that we really need. Thank you very much. It must be an all-inclusive strategy to win both the small businesses and the big businesses. Thank you. So the second volunteer, who's the second volunteer? Toastmaster Mohammed or Toastmaster Mohammed, please can you unmute? Okay, no problem, we'll go unmute you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President, for unmuting me.
All right, thank you. Welcome, Mr. Mohammed. Where are you connecting from?
I am Muhammad Vikharuddin, President of Bahrain from India.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for coming to Nigeria virtually. Now, what is your lucky number?
Well, I did not see any number over there on your screen. I am on the mobile.
Okay, we have numbers 1 to 10. Number 5 has been taken. So tell me, what number do you like?
Number 1.
Number 1. Okay, it's this number 1. Number 1 says, how can we support the current talent if at least 20% of the current roles would not exist in 5 years? Listen again. How can we support the current talent if at least 20% of the current roles would not exist in 5 years? Over to you, Toastmaster Mohammed.
Thank you so much, Table Topic Master, for giving me an opportunity to speak about current topic. Thank you so much. It's very good topic to have a current 20% would not exist for another 5 years. So they have to plan out with their basic skills, which can be sustained for another 5 years, which can be beneficial for their future. So they have to go gradually, step by step process to lead by next 5 years. The current situation might be student, might be a job seeker, might be a business person, might be seeking some information to get a leadership skills. For that kind of person, we have to set such kind of a scale to grown up when they reach their next 5 years, which can be sustained for their communication skills, leadership skills, and give some kind of a knowledge base which can be next 5 years. The best things is beneficial to take that person to as a mentee, so they can be have a mentor for after next 5 years, they can be lead a role for that kind of a position which not exists for now. So this is what I would like to say, conclude my speech by saying good support, 20% now, 40% for the future, which can be beneficial for the current job seeker or a professional or who would like to have a leadership skill. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Sorry, over to you, TTM.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Mohammed. We have to build skills that will fit into the next 5 years and build a mentorship program that will help people that are coming so that when 5 years come, we can sustain what is going to be available. Thank you very much, Mr. Mohammed, for that wonderful response. I appreciate that. Okay, let's go to the next person. The next person is Toastmaster Celso. Toastmaster Celso, kindly unmute and tell us your name and where you're connecting from.
Hi, are you hearing me?
You're audible.
Sorry. Okay, I'm connecting from Portugal, but I'm from Sao Tome. It is the island nearby Nigeria. I think that all of you know. So,
Great. So right now you're in Portugal.
Yeah, now I'm living in Portugal. Yeah,
all right,
and I'm a member of Lisbon NBA Toastmaster Club, which is a club here in Lisbon.
Wonderful. Okay, yeah. So tell me, what is your lucky number?
I would choose the number 7.
Number 7. Okay, yeah. So wait for it. Number 7 says, what frightens you or scares you the most about the shift from human power to machine power? What frightens you or scares you the most about the shift from human power to machine power? You have 1 to 2 minutes. Kindly pin the timer.
Okay. What frightens me most is that this shift will cause men unemployment in the world, and a lot of people are not prepared to do other things, and we know that it is important to have a work, because if you don't work, we will not have the meaning to live, to have a decent life. But but I think that the people who have power have the possibility to change this. How? Nowadays, there are a lot of people that think that it is best to start, for example, to tax robots, because if robots substitute the work that the men do, many people think it is fair to start taxing the robot. Because if we do not do this, the future of all women is at risk, because, for instance, if we attain the retirement age, we will not have money to live, because if you don't work, you cannot discount, and you cannot have the money to live. So the other thing that frightens me is people will be less sociable, because we human beings, you need to talk with other people. So if you all of our society is robotized, I can say, we will feel a lot too much alone. So I think that these two things frighten me a lot. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Human beings will be less sociable and there will be less interactions with humans in the future of work. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Calcio, for that wonderful response to the question of the future of work. Now we'll go on to the next speaker, the Toastmaster Ellen. Toastmaster Ellen, kindly unmute your mic and tell us where you're connecting from and what you do.
Good morning, beautiful members of GEM Toastmasters Club and our guests from all over the world. I am Helen Asimegbe. Well, my club is Millennium Toastmasters Club and Grand City Toastmasters Club. I'm the club coach for Grand City Toastmasters Club. What do I do? I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm also a humanitarian entrepreneur. You can just Google the name Helen Asimegbe. You find all sorts of information around the things I do. When we start my introduction, this meeting will be over before I'm done.
All right then. So Toastmaster Ellen, what is your lucky number? Number 1 is gone. Number 5 is gone. Number 7 is gone.
Okay. Number 9.
Number 9. Okay. Number 9. What could be number 9? Let's check. Let's check. Number 9 says, how will the relationship between work and family evolve in the future of work? We are talking about automation, robotics, and working from home and all of that. How will that affect the relationship between work and family? The work and family life.
How will the relationship between work and family life evolve
in the future?
In the future of work. I want to believe this question plainly is just talking about how to balance. It's just talking about work-life balance. I just believe that's what the question is trying to cover. So how would it affect or evolve in the future of work? I say this to everyone, especially young entrepreneurs. As well, let me just focus maybe right now on people who, maybe female who are married and want to have children, most especially. I've seen a lot of people go into their jobs, their career, and then they start to struggle after a while because it's really tasking to see how you can balance the home front and then pay attention to the work that you were doing. I'm going to be advising everyone, as much as possible, you have to find a place, a way to strike a balance. Once you are home, you are home. Give all your attention and your focus to the home and the things you have to, on how to build your home front. And then once you are at work, try to give in all the skill, the expertise, and the energy you can put in there. You find out that a lot of people are struggling with balancing these two. Aside from even being married, even normally as an individual, maybe a single lady or a single guy and all of that, if you are not able to strike this balance, it will be a whole lot of problem. You find that people start having health issues. So especially where we are going today, and with the fact that a lot of people are now working from their homes, it's going to be really tasking, but you have to play that role on knowing how to draw the line, like divide it. This is the home front. This is the time for devoting time to my home. And then this is now time for work. For example, today's a Saturday. I'm at home. Most of us have been advised to maintain social distancing. And then I know definitely by 10, I would have GEM Toastmasters Club to attend. Even if at the beginning, it wasn't like there was a role I was supposed to play at the club, but I had already devoted that time. So I had to be up very early. Of course, I have 2 children. I can't be attending GEM Toastmasters Club meeting and be attending to the children at the same time. So I had to balance it. I knew I had to wake up super early today, be done with the family, provide food and everything they needed, and then devote this time. As you can see, I'm sitting, I'm looking relaxed to see that I've settled an area already before coming to this meeting. So this just applies to every area of our lives. If you're working from home right now, you need to know how to draw the line. Draw the line between time for work and then time for family, just so that it would not affect your mental health and you can be as productive as possible. So if we are going to have very young and vibrant people in the future, in our nearest future, as we see, who will be strong and able to impact society, you have to be able to draw that line. You have to be able to know what time it is to devote to work and then family. If you're able to balance this, you will be successful. And of course, you will be healthy because mental health comes first. The president.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Ellen, for that wonderful response. We need to find a way to balance the work such that nothing affects the other in an adverse way. Thank you very much. Now we go on to the next volunteer, Toastmaster Alia. Yes, Alia, kindly put on your video and unmute your mic. Thank you.
Thank you, Emmanuel. It's great seeing you all and great job as TTM. I'm connecting from the Zoom on my laptop, so the video is unfortunately not working virtually, but it's great to see all of your lovely faces. And I come from Cairo Toastmasters Egypt as VP of Membership, so the land of pharaohs and pyramids is sending you all its greetings.
Wonderful. Great to see you again, Alia. Wonderful. Okay, now we have 1 to 10, but number 1 is taken, number 7 is taken, number 10 is taken, number 5 is taken. So what is your lucky number?
Let's go for 2.
Number 2. Okay, number 2 for Alia. Number 2 for Alia from the lands of pharaohs and pyramids. Okay, so Alia, number 2 says, now let's go to number 2. Number 2 says, what roles can't be automated and what roles shouldn't be automated? It's a 2-in-1, and I think you can handle them. What roles can't be automated and what roles shouldn't be automated? Okay, that is for you. Let me give you again. What roles can't be automated and what roles shouldn't be automated? 1 to 2 minutes, pin the timer, shoot.
All right. So when it comes to automation, a lot of us really relate that to machines and robots and the use of things that lack lots of emotions. Well, in my opinion, a lot of the roles actually can't and shouldn't be automated. I mean, imagine and compare the difference between having a face-to-face human experience and using machines. Why would we want to do that? Well, on the other hand of this, there's always a way where there's a will. In my opinion, definitely anything that involves live arts like drama and music and theater definitely should not be automated, even though they can be. For you to feel things with emotions, for you to see people face to face, gives you a whole and complete, total different experience than having to see it through machines being expressed in a robotic manner. As for the other side of things, doctors nowadays can be kind of linked to online. Everything now is turned online. Education can be done online and in fact can be cheaper when automated and done online. But all this, when thinking about it more in depth, leads us to thinking that automation will eliminate lots of emotions and human experience throughout. Is this what we really want? In my opinion, I don't think anything should be automated. Back to you, TTM.
Thank you very much, Alia, for that wonderful introduction, for that wonderful speech. A round of applause for her, please. A round of applause for her. Thank you. That was amazing. You cannot automate doctors. You cannot automate mechanics. So there are certain things that cannot be automated. And I thank you for opening our eyes to seeing that. I think I can take just one more. Just one more. Who is the lucky person? Just one more. I want to see someone that's ready to answer the question. Just one more. One raise of hand and we are fine. Are we scared? Okay, guess BG. Kindly unmute your mic and just say your name and tell us where you're from. Yes? Great. All right, unmute.
Oh, no. Okay. Yes. Hello, Toastmaster, Table Topics Master of the Day, members of GEM Toastmasters, and all guests from around the world. I'm connecting in from Kuwait in the Middle East. And I'm a member of Mangaf Communicators Club. And I'm so glad to be with you here today. And I have two of my members also available. I have guest Colleen and Priya. We're both from the same club. Glad to be a part of you today.
Wonderful, wonderful to see you from Kuwait. Wonderful, amazing. Okay, so what's your lucky number? Number 1, number 2 has been taking number 7, number 5, number 10. So take one out of the rest.
Okay, so 3.
3. Will you ever want a consoling hug from a robot? Will you ever want a consoling hug from a robot? Over to you.
Okay, so one moment, let me see what my timer is. I know Abu Bakr, okay, I see him. All right, and so your question is, do I ever want a counseling from a robot, if I heard that correct?
Yes, do you ever want a consoling hug from a robot? Will you ever
consoling
want a
hug
consoling from a robot? Yes, over to you.
Table Topics Master. This question brings out a lot of emotions in me today. Do I want to have a consoling hug from a robot? I think that'll be great. I mean, the future is going to some place with artificial intelligence. Human beings are going to be replicated in machines. Believe it or not, it takes me back to a movie called The Big Bot. I don't know if you've seen that, but in that movie, they actually have a robot, which is a medically trained robot that just has a chip of all the human emotions and medical information. It actually consoles the person by telling you, well, you've been hurt. I'm going to come there and give you a hug. So do I want to have a hug from a robot? Yeah, maybe in 200 years time, it will be great, but not in the near future. No, not today. I would rather have a hug from my family, from my friends, from my fellow members and people from around the world. I mean, where is the world going today? Without emotions, human beings are nothing. So as we work towards a united Africa, as Africa works towards a united world, to a united force as human beings, a consoling hug from each other would do for now. In the future, that's of course something that we're working towards, a magnificent future. So yes, why not? Back to you.
Thank you very much. That was really wonderful. That was really amazing. I love the responses of the Table Topics people today. They spoke so well, even though the subject is not something that is widely discussed, but we are opening our eyes to see the possibilities and the challenges that are evolving in the future of work. I want to appreciate you all for taking the courage and boldness to come on board to answer these questions and start these conversations. I know this conversation will not stop, it will continue. And I would like to appreciate you for coming to this meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, my role as a Table Topics Master is over, and I hand over control back to the Toastmaster of the day. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Okay, hello, I'm back. Good to have listened to the answer, the responses from members. Very, very interesting about the future of work. I don't know, I'm excited. I'm enjoying this meeting so much. I hope you all are as excited as I am. It's been a great meeting so far. Interesting questions. Well done to our table topics master. Well done. Thank you very much. I've seen the reaction to people with regard. Everybody's trying to protect human emotions, so robots do not come and take over that human touch, that human feeling. And that's why we all must actively play a role with shaping this future. We should not leave this future to different people to do. We should all be active. We should all be active with creating this new future. So quickly, so that we do not waste any more time, we're having an interesting meeting. I'll call on the General Evaluator Toastmaster, Distinguished Toastmaster Kimo, to lead us with the evaluation segment, please. So, Distinguished Toastmaster Kimo, please. Okay. Okay, before...
The person is just coming into the call. She has some network problem. Please call her again. I think she's on.
Within that time, I would like to just share some of the things we can do to prepare ourselves for this future of work. What are some of the skills that we need? First, we need organizational skills. There will be demand for people who can actually organize different components of things to create new value. Creative thinking is very important. Robots some of the robots do not yet have that high level of thinking with regards to creating things. So humans ought to be creators. So we should improve our creative thinking skills even at this time. And of course, communication skills is very, very relevant in this time. And sales skills, learning how to sell. How do you sell? How to sell new technology, how to sell new opportunities. So sales skills will be very important. Then also financial literacy. Every human being needs that skill to thrive in this time. Then tech skills. There are so many things to learn. Artificial intelligence, virtual reality, digital skills generally. How to use drones, 3D printing. So this is the time to learn new things, to thrive in this new future that we want. So our general evaluator is back. Distinguished Toastmaster Kimo, please lead us through the evaluation section. Thank you. Distinguished Toastmaster Kimo, please. Okay. Our first evaluator, Toastmaster Hasfa, please, can you start your evaluation quickly?
Sorry, DTM Kiamo is back. DTM Kiamo is back, please.
Okay, DTM Kiamo, please take control.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. I just couldn't unmute myself, and unfortunately I had to leave the meeting for a while. I double booked myself, South Africa and the different time zones. But needless to say, we are now entering into our evaluation segment. And this is at the heart of Toastmasters educational program, apart and different from any other public speaking or communication. Somebody who's looking to improve your communication skills and leadership skills, you get immediate feedback on what you can do to move to the next level and better yourself. And often in Toastmasters, we say that feedback is the breakfast of champions, and it is a breakfast of champions. So as I said earlier on, when we started the meeting, I will call upon my team members, the other role players. I will start with the speech evaluators. The speech evaluators will give feedback on the different speeches that were presented, and essentially they will help our speakers to take their speaking to the next level and build their confidence. And I will start by calling first our first speech evaluator, Toastmaster Hafast, who evaluated our first speaker. Can you please provide us with your evaluation? Over to you, Toastmaster Hafast.
Hello, Toastmasters, our wonderful guest and magnificent Maureen. Congratulations, you've successfully nailed the purpose of your icebreaker speech. Your speech was neatly arranged into a very good opening, a body with a message, and a good conclusion. The purpose of your speech was achieved because I know by now, we know you to a certain extent. You are a champion from your message. I mean, an outstanding NYSC core member, and then nailing the table topic speech even before you joined the club. That's wonderful. I just loved your speech. However, while you were speaking, you were not looking directly into the camera. And if it's not maintaining eye contact, which shows nervousness in your speech, not maintaining eye contact shows nervousness in your speech. And there was also some kind of distractions where you are, especially your notifications. Perhaps in your next speech, you would want to put your phone in a don't disturb mode. I believe all Android phones have that. There was something else that fascinated me about your speech. It was your physical expression and your body language. I mean, you almost jumped where you were telling us about where you were posted to Kaduna. Is that how much you love Kaduna? It was just good. Keep it up. Body language portrays the sincerity in your speech. So keep it up. Generally, your speech was magnificent. And yes, Toastmaster Maureen, Toastmaster is where you get support for learning and growth. So welcome to the family and congratulations once again. I look forward to your next magnificent speech. Over to you, Ms. Evaluator or General Evaluator. Over to you, General Evaluator. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that evaluation, Toastmaster Hatafat. I will now call upon our second evaluator. And the beauty of our evaluations is that we evaluate the speech, not the speaker. And as you listen on to these evaluations, you yourself, you can take notes for yourself because the evaluation is not just for the speaker. We can take these notes and apply them in our own speaking journey. So there's always a learning opportunity in Toastmasters. Our second evaluator is Toastmaster Najib. Toastmaster Najib, over to you.
Good day, everyone. You'll all agree with me that Toastmaster Abdul Samad gave a wonderful speech as an icebreaker. It didn't actually look as an icebreaker speech because it was really magnificent. So what stood out for me in Toastmaster Abdul Samad's speech was, number one, the confidence he exuded. As I said, it didn't look like an icebreaker speech. He started with a great introduction that attracted the audience towards the content of the speech. Another, he used the act of personal storytelling also to flower the speech. It made the speech more awesome. He also used splendid quotes, both personal quotes and quotes from other persons. I actually loved when he said that we should strive against ourselves, not against others, as in it shouldn't be like a competition against others. We should compete against ourselves to become better persons. Then the eye contact was also superb. He had a very good eye contact with the audience. So what I think Toastmaster Abdul Samad needs to improve in his next speech is the use of the stage. He didn't actually, it seems he was sitting somewhere. He didn't actually use the space. So that's why I couldn't notice his gesticulations, his use of gestures was not that noticeable. So I would advise Toastmaster Abdul Samad to use his space better in his next speech. I think that's what I actually observed from his speech. But overall, it was a very, very splendid speech. Toastmaster Abdul Samad, keep it up. I look forward to your next speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, second evaluator. I am going to rush through this because we are behind time and we know Toastmasters time is very important. I'll move straight to our third evaluator, Toastmaster Pa Kwesi, to evaluate our third speaker. Toastmaster Pa.
The third speaker is Toastmaster Sagurika.
The third evaluator
is Toastmaster Sagurika.
Okay. Toastmaster Sagurika, can you evaluate our third speaker?
Yeah, am I audible?
Please go ahead.
Good evening, everybody, and special good evening to Toastmaster Danladi. The most treasured heirlooms are the sweet memories of childhood. And well, that's exactly where you took us with the introduction. You had such a warm and pleasant opening. We could all relate to what you were speaking across geographies, across cultures. You touched each one of us at the personal level when you spoke about your parents, your children, and the relatives. So the audience connect was awesome since the very beginning of your speech, Toastmaster Danladi. Carrying on, the parts which I liked about your speech best was, even though you used quotation, you were very precise in mentioning about the facts and dictionary meaning of what a mentor and a mentor relationship is all about. You mentioned very precisely and presented it very systematically upon the qualities which our mentor and a mentee should possess to establish a very successful relationship of a mentee-mentor relationship. However, I would like to give you recommendations. I have two recommendations for you. The first one mainly being that we would have loved to hear some personal experiences or anecdotes from you, wherein you could share with us your experience of being a mentor or a mentee with somebody whom you look up to as a role model, or to someone whom you have acted as a role model. So some personal experiences would have added much more interesting stuff to the content of your speech. And secondly, while you were delivering your speech, I understand by mistake your phone started ringing. So I would request you to keep your mobile on silent mode or to switch it off as per your convenience, because it actually hampers the flow of your speech. So all in all, with the lovely introduction, the seamless transition of content, and your final take of thanking the mentors, which was a master stroke. So your speech was something which was really, really inspiring. In today's digital and robotic area that we have been speaking since the beginning of the session today, Toastmaster John, you possess a unique quality of connecting with the audience at the personal level. And this, I am sure, will take you a long way in connecting and establishing meaningful relationships with people around you. Keep honing your skills, and I wish you the very best for your Toastmasters journey and your life ahead. Thank you very much. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. Very request our evaluators just to stay ready. Toastmaster Iyam, am I correct? Madam Toastmaster of the day? To
Yes, you're
evaluate
right.
our fourth speaker.
Yes.
Over to you, Toastmaster Iyam.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and our guests from all over the world, and a special good afternoon to Toastmaster Anastasia. I'll just go straight. I think we are working with time right now. I'll just go on to appreciate you for giving such a magnificent speech. You were supposed to speak to persuade and inspire your audience. I want to commend you for being audible, and I want to commend you for being confident as you spoke. And we saw that confidence in the smile on your face. And I also want to commend the fact that you actually started your speech with a question. And it was such an interesting question: who loves gives giveaways? And that question actually helped you to fulfill one of the project objective, which is for you to incorporate the concept of either attention, interest, decision, and action, as was spelled out in the project manual. And with that question, you were able to fulfill two of these objectives, which is for you to generate the attention and then, of course, to generate interest. And you did that when you presented a prop. You will never go wrong with props, even though it was a visual prop, but it was effective. It was effective in helping you to deliver your speech and connect with the audience. Now, the props were vivid and descriptive gestures as far as your project objective was concerned. You did that with that. You did very well with that. I also want to commend you for choosing a relatable topic. Every member of the audience today is either a member of an executive, a former member of a club executive, or is one that is going in, or one that certainly will be an executive someday. So it was a relatable topic that you chose, and I appreciate you for that. You succeeded in particularly directing your inspiration to the newly elected executive. And I love the fact that your audience understood your speech purpose and you were positive as you tried to compare the success of the Gosley team with the executive, as in what they stand to achieve. That was very beautiful, very relatable topic. Now, what are the recommendations? Because you did such a beautiful job. I believe that I still have one or two recommendations. I think that you probably sounded a bit instructive rather than inspiring and persuasive. You were telling your audience what to do, and I feel if you had paid as much attention to telling them why they should do it, if you had paid more attention to why they should do it, I think you would have succeeded in and you'd have been most effective in meeting the other two aspects of the persuasion and inspiration concept, which is bordering on decision and action. I think if you had tried to show them what they would stand to benefit individually, because if you remember, that project actually says that you should persuade and inspire your audience to know that their personal goals can be realized when they are able to achieve the organizational goal. The organizational goal here would have been for the club to win some awards and all of that. But it would have been lovely for you to pay attention or call their attention to what they will stand to benefit individual, as in their personal goals. And it will be a stronger why. It could have been a stronger why, you know, why they would choose to do what exactly is required of them as far as being club executive is concerned. In all, you did very, very well. I'm not sure I can see the timer, but you know, all you did very well. I don't know how much time I have. I would have given you, maybe I'll give you some other recommendations backstage, but thank you very much for such a beautiful presentation. I look forward to your future speeches as an advanced speaker. Thank you very much. The General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster AM. Can I call upon our next evaluator? Even if you can keep it precise, maybe then you will give the detailed feedback to the speaker individually. Our next evaluator, Toastmaster Hopkins.
All right, fellow Toastmasters and Toastmaster Chidi, nobody likes to give bad news, which is why Toastmasters has this speech and speeches by management. You certainly did a strong job in presenting the whole situation in terms of what the goal was. You reminded the people you were talking to what they had hoped to accomplish and reminded them of the high-mindedness that you went into the process with, so that they knew that their goal was one that was worthy to achieve and that they made worthy efforts in order to achieve it, before ultimately having to give them the bad news that their efforts were not going to be rewarded and that their proposal had essentially been rejected. Definitely bad news, but well delivered, because you managed to be so positive at the beginning, so reassuring to them before having to bring them down with what was not going to happen for them. And then you went full on motivational speaker and you used quotes from everybody in the world who has ever said anything positive. And you let us know that we should keep going. We should never give up, that we should pound through the walls. And you did it in such a strong voice, a ton of conviction. And you managed to use vocal variety well, between going from kind of a low, sincere tone at the beginning to that motivational speaker, and then back down towards your close. Some things I would like you to look at in this speech next time you give a speech like this is, especially on Zoom, okay, you've got this wonderful professional Toastmasters virtual background, but when you're moving around a lot, you tend to ghost and disappear, which distracts me from the intent of your message. So think about perhaps having a background that is real, but not real. This is not a brick wall behind me. It's a vinyl sheet, but even just a clean room behind you, a nice white wall would work as well. Something else, yes, you used a lot of third-party quotes and stories. What if you also came from the heart and told me that you believed in me, that you believed that we could do something of value again, that you believed I should never give up because I have something that I can provide to the next time we attempt this goal or a different goal, because you're our manager, you're our leader. And I want to know that not only do all these other people tell me I shouldn't give up, but you're telling me I shouldn't give up, that you believe in me. Overall, you did a great job of trying to accomplish your speech. You had asked me specifically to look at how you used pauses. And I thought you used your pauses very well, particularly at the beginning of your speech. I think you lost sight of using effective pauses towards the end. But overall, I think you probably did a better job than perhaps you've done in the past, although I can't completely speak to that, having not seen you speak before tonight. Overall, I think you can be proud of yourself for the speech you've given this evening. or this morning or whatever time it is where you are. And know that if you have to give bad news in the future, you are well armed to do so in a motivating and a reassuring way. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Hopkins. Our next evaluator will be Toastmaster Al Hassan to come and give us table topics evaluations for just 3 minutes. And in the meantime, may I ask that you start submitting your goals, your votes for the evaluators. Toastmaster Al Hassan, sorry for butchering your name.
Sir, it's Toastmaster Pakwesi.
Okay, Toastmaster Pakwesi, please go ahead. I didn't make changes on my program.
Hello?
Hello?
Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, General Evaluator. And seeing as we are behind time, I would like to not blow through quickly, but give a very concise evaluation on the entire table topic session rather than give individual and peculiar feedback to everybody. My take on the entire table topic session was that it was very exciting. It was magnificent. I love the fact that the questions that were posed to each and every speaker were relatable, number one, and there were things that we are seeing in our surroundings, in our business environment right now. There are situations and events that we can speak to that is affecting our entire business life. And so I love the fact that the questions were relatable. I also love the fact that the answers that were provided to the questions were also relatable. There was a vast wealth of experience felt from the answers that each table topic speaker gave. I love the fact that answers were personal. They were coming from a place of experience. The second speaker spoke about mentorship, which was very good in my opinion, because we as Toastmasters hammer a lot on mentorship. And so to inculcate mentorship in an answer of business was a very inspired thing to do. And I loved that coming from them, coming from the table topic speakers. All the table topic speakers that we heard from this morning, here it is morning, so all the table topic speakers we heard from this morning gave very, very confident, and they were very comfortable with the audience, even though I'm sure majority of the table topic speakers are experiencing this audience for the first time. They were confident in delivering their answers and showed a very, very comfortable level with the speakers, which again speaks to the fact that they are speaking from a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of experience. So they are sharing personal experiences, or at least experiences that you can relate with, answers that you can relate with. My singular greatest gripe with the table topic session is that you rarely felt pauses in the entire session. I believe it was table topic speaker 6BG who utilized pauses. Because of the nature of the question, she utilized pauses and a very minimal tone to invoke and incite certain emotional feedback or responses from the audience. That was inspired, that was magnificent. So Toastmaster BG, that was good job done, keep it up. All in all, I think it was a magnificent table topic session. I loved every bit of it. I took down notes for myself that I am going to use in my future business dealings, especially Toastmaster. The first table topic speaker who spoke gave very, very relatable answers that you can. Toastmaster Kuti from Australia, he used very, very relatable answers, bringing in contrast from between African business and European business, specifically Australian market. I love that. Thank you all table topic speakers for your answers and for your speeches. And I'm looking forward to doing this again. Thank you all. Enjoy your day. Over to you, Madam G.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Pakwesi. I'm not sure how the votes are done, Madam Toastmaster. Can you help me with that? But I want to thank all the evaluators for the insightful evaluations. I'm sure we've all taken something from each evaluator.
Okay. Hello, dear Toastmasters and guests. Can we please take our votes for best speaker, best table topics, and best evaluator? Let's do that quickly so that we can end on time. So please choose your best speaker, choose your best evaluator, and your best table topic speaker. But Madam GE, please go ahead with the vote.
Okay.
Please go ahead with our role players.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I would now like to move on to our other role players who practice various leadership skills in listening and so forth. I will start with Toastmaster Amina, who was our R counter. Toastmaster Amina, can you give us your R counter report? I think Toastmaster Amina can our Zoom master unmute Toastmaster Amina?
Okay, thank you. Madam Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, here is my counter report. The first speaker, Toastmaster Maureen, in her icebreaker had just one R in a form of a long pause. The second speaker, Toastmaster Abdus Samad, also had just one R in the form of a you know. The third speaker, Adladi John, Toastmaster Adladi, had 3 R's. He used the word well 3 times in his speech. The fourth speaker, Toastmaster Anastasia, had 1 R in the form of a so. The fifth speaker, Toastmaster Chidi, had no R. That's all from me. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Can we have the next role player, please?
Can we have the grammarian?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Lovely.
Provide us with your
Thank you very much. What a magnificent session. I've chosen the
your
word.
report.
I'm sorry.
Is she still on the call?
I'm sorry, I can't. I didn't hear that.
Please go ahead.
Lovely. Thank you very much. What a magnificent session. I chose the word of the, to be magnificent for the reason that the theme of the meeting has been the future of work in Africa. And in the present situation of chaos, uncertainty and speculation, I thought it would be great to steer our minds towards something very positive. And the word magnificent is the best word for that. I'm so happy that most of you used it in all your speeches and table topics. Also, the Toastmaster was using it and the president. Very happy with that. I picked up a lot of interesting phrases that were used by the speakers, and they ranged from the Toastmaster introducing us immediately to the mood of the meeting with the words opportunities that the future presents. Then I heard phrases like elaborately described the beauty. That's a wonderful phrase. Brimstone and fire. If you can conceive it, you can achieve it. Other phrases that caught my attention were striving for excellence. We can all strive for excellence. Competing against yourself brings more joy. Competing against yourself brings more joy. I started thinking about that. That's a lovely, lovely thought. The quality of the leader is reflected in the standard they set for themselves. Another wonderful phrase. And you can't be supported if you're not ready to succeed. Leader who isn't motivated will not achieve much. And the favorite of all, my favorite of them all, was a stepping stone to explore the opportunities before you. A stepping stone to explore the opportunity before you. That's a wonderful phrase and a wonderful meeting. Thank you for your magnificent participation in this. Back to Toastmaster.
So can we take on the next role player?
The timer.
Okay. General evaluator, please. Can we get your general evaluation in a few minutes?
The timer is on.
Oh, the timer is on. Okay, great.
Toastmaster Abubakar.
I think you omitted the wrong Abubakar.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I hereby give my report. For the first speaker, Toastmaster Maureen Oyedoja, she did 5 minutes, 35 seconds, which she's within the time frame of 4 to 6 minutes. Speaker 2, Abdusamad Gobir, did 5 minutes, 11 seconds, also within. The speech is supposed to be between 4 minutes to 6 minutes. Speaker 3, John Danladi, did 5 minutes, 23 seconds, also within the time slot. Speaker 4, Anastasia, did 9 minutes, 25 seconds for a speech that's supposed to be for 5 to 7 minutes. Speaker 5, Chidi Chukudi, did 6 minutes, 58 seconds for a 5 to 7 minute speech. For the table topic speakers, guest Kuti did 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Guest Muhammad from Bahrain did 1 minute, 57 seconds. Guest Celcio Pereira, did I pronounce that correctly? He did 2 minutes, 24 seconds. Ellen Asimegbe did 3 minutes, 11 seconds. Alia did 1 minute, 56 seconds. And BG Guitars did 1 minute, 48 seconds. For our evaluators, TM Afsat Kure did 2 minutes, 7 seconds. Najib did 2 minutes, 24 seconds. Bagorik did 3 minutes, 10 seconds. Inyang did 4 minutes, 15 seconds. Richard Hopkins did 3 minutes, 48 seconds. And I can't get that correctly. The last table topic evaluator did 3 minutes, 3 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. I will now move on to my general evaluator's report. So I observed the meeting. It will be a quick one. I love the preparations. I received the program last night already, so it shows the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes, and I want to say well done to the team on that. And to our Toastmaster of the day, you did a magnificent meeting throughout the meeting. Our evaluators, the evaluations were very insightful and very helpful, because the objective is to help speakers and everyone who's in the meeting to improve their skills. And thank you, Toastmaster Pakwesi, for the topics evaluation. Unfortunately, I was not in the meeting, but overall, I enjoyed the meeting. It was my first time attending a meeting in Nigeria. Thank you, Emmanuel, for inviting me. What I would say, perhaps for the future, something that you can look out to, I would say, can the SAA call to order, not the president, and maybe give out some rules on protocol, on Zoom etiquette, what we should do, what we shouldn't do, like we normally do face-to-face meetings, unless if that's the culture of the club, and then they can hand over to the president. The president will welcome us and open the meeting. But you did it very well, President Emmanuel. And secondly, just to solve, I noted that we started, I think, 10 minutes late. So maybe let us try to really hit the gavel at 10 o'clock. Yeah, 10 o'clock. Anything else? I'm looking forward to coming back to your meeting, and keep on being amazing. I would now like to hand over to our Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Kimo. Thank you to all our role players. We appreciate you for the role. Thank you so much. It's been an exciting meeting. Sorry, we've gone beyond time. From my end, I would quickly hand over to the president. But before I do that, I would like to remind you all, for the theme of this meeting, the future of work in Africa. I would just like to conclude that we should all play a part in creating this future of work. The interesting quote from Abraham Lincoln says, the best way to predict the future is to create it. So let's all arm ourselves with the requisite knowledge and skills that we need to thrive in this new future that is here. I believe our awards are ready. I hand over control back to the president of the club, Toastmaster Emmanuel. Thank you very much. It's been a privilege serving as the Toastmaster of the day for this meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Thank you for that wonderful execution of the Toastmaster role, which was quite amazing. I want to appreciate every one of you for coming to this meeting. It's quite a pleasure to have everyone. I would like to point out that one of the evaluators is a two-time international speech competition finalist. That is Toastmaster Hopkins, came all the way from the United States, and he's on a tour of all the districts in Toastmasters. And interestingly, my club happens to be the club where he's happening to give a role in his speech in District 94. So I want to congratulate Toastmaster Hopkins for making it down to Africa. I hope to see you more around. I think you joined around 4 a.m., right? Is it on the call? Okay, yeah. Okay, yes, say something. You joined around 4 a.m., right?
Yeah, 3 a.m. actually, but that's
all 3 a.m. Yes, Toastmaster Hopkins had made it to the international speech competition stage twice. Just Google Richard Hopkins and you will see so much about Toastmaster Richard Hopkins. He's a fantastic man. And I'd like to have a one-on-one session with you sometime so that we can have probably one specialized session on how to do speeches, for people like my club members, apart from this evaluation you're doing. Thank you very much for coming. I want to appreciate everyone making it to this meeting. Is there any guest that we have not acknowledged in this meeting? Okay, so if you are a guest, kindly raise up your hand and you've not spoken during Tribal Topics or any other segment, just raise up your hand and let me see you. With the emotions, yes, Abubakar. No, Salso, you've spoken. Yes, Salso, you've spoken. Yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah, great. Okay, then, okay, yes. I see Anna, I see Aneta. Okay, so let me start Abubakar. Abubakar, you have 30 seconds. Tell us your name, what you do, where you're connecting from. We have just about 5 minutes to round up because we are behind schedule. So, quickly, yes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for giving me the time to join your session. My name is Abubakar Ibrahim Habu. I'm a Nigerian from Kano. I live in the UK. I am an accountant by profession.
Thank you. Are you a Toastmaster? Are you a Toastmaster?
No, not yet. This is part of my journey to joining the Toastmaster.
Amazing. What's your experience today?
Yeah, I think I did enjoy it, and I find the topics that you have here very educative because they're based on topical issues. So it's really interesting here, and I look forward to joining Toastmaster.
Thank you,
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abubakar. Tomorrow you can join Kano Toastmasters Club. Is meeting tomorrow. I can send you the link.
I've registered for that one as well. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so let's have Anita. Anita, kindly unmute and tell us your impression about the meeting.
Well done, Gemstones. My name is Annetta Work-Sally, and I'm with District 8 here in the United States, specifically the St. Louis, Missouri area. Wonderful, magnificent meeting, and I was glad that I was able to attend and look forward to more meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great connecting with you. So let's have Anna. Anna, kindly unmute and tell us where you're connecting from and your impression about the meeting. Anna? Yes, please turn on your video.
Yes. Hi, I'm Anna. I'm from Namibia. Thank you very much for the invitation. I logged in a bit late, but what I enjoyed most was your table topics themes. They were so relevant to nowadays. And I look forward to another meeting. Have a good weekend. See you again. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you, Anna. Yeah, amazing. Okay, so I have 2 more people we've not taken. Let's look for who else haven't spoken today.
Have I?
Anthony, kindly unmute and speak. Anthony, you're on.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Good afternoon, Gemstone Toastmaster. Wow, what a moment. Thank you for providing us with this exhilarating and splendiferous virtual atmosphere to learn, unlearn, and enjoy ourselves. TM Ojewumi, great job. Great job. I see you on an upward trajectory in your leadership and communication goals. Thank you, everyone. I am calling from Lagos. I joined from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm the Vice President, Delta Africa Toastmasters.
Thank you very much, TM Pogbe from Delta Africa Toastmasters in Lagos. We are so happy to have you right here. Is there any other person that have not spoken today? So we just give you 5 seconds and, oh, Beatrice. Okay, Beatrice want to speak. Okay, then. All right, okay, so let's have you, Beatrice.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to say, everybody got evaluated and thanked, but we should thank the president because he has been doing this amazing, magnificent job all around social media. He has been talking to people, getting the guests in, asking to come and support. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Beatrice. Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging my effort. I'm just doing my job. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, then. So we are now at the moment where we announce the best speaker, the best evaluator, and the best table topics. Ladies and gentlemen, drum rolls. The best speaker is a surprise to me, as well as a surprise to many. But you're gonna do what you're gonna do. But I'm not gonna start with the best speaker. I'm gonna start with the best evaluator. Ladies and gentlemen, the best evaluator for today is Toastmaster Richard Hopkins. Okay. Then the best speaker is Toastmaster Abdul Samad Gobir. And the best table topics. Ladies and gentlemen, the best table topics. I know a lot of you have seen the best table topics, right? Okay. The best table topics is guest BG. I'm so excited and so happy to be part of this meeting. I'm so happy that the conversation is drifting around motivational issues into issues that really affect us as humans. And one of them is something that is emerging that a lot of people have not imagined, which is the future of work. Now, what happens in the future of work is that whenever there is a change or a paradigm shift about to happen, very little people pay attention to the emerging trends. Very little people look at emerging opportunities. And those people that look at the emerging opportunities are those people that cash out when the dividends of such opportunities come up. Last week, we had the Pan-African meeting, and the Toastmasters International President-elect made a speech and said that opportunity usually come like very elusive. So we have to look at opportunities that are bound in the current realities and find ways we can create solutions for our communities. The time is now, and this is the right time to start looking inwards at problems within our communities, looking at the current realities and how we can add value to those lives. We are going to be on this call for another 15 minutes to network. If you are happy to be part of it, you can wait. But ladies and gentlemen, for such a wonderful meeting, I want to give you a thumbs up and hit the gavel close. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so you can unmute, it's networking time, right? Thank you.